So there's basically two reasons why I'm making this video. The first is so that people can look at it and use it to take inspiration for their own builds. They can use it, you know, oh, I like this part that he didn't like this part, maybe I'll do it this way instead, whatever. And they can kind of use it to craft their own car camper build or whatever. But the main reason I'm doing it is because I'm actually selling the bed frame piece. And so I'm going to sell it with the twin size mattress. And I'll put a link in the description if you want to check it out. And, you know, or if you want to talk about it, you can message me or whatever. But I'm selling it because my family is growing too big, you know, and I just feel like it's going to hang out in my shed. The hooks on it, I actually hang it in my shed on the side so it doesn't have to sit on the ground or anything. It's an opportunity to showcase kind of what we build, how it works, and then if someone wants to buy it, they can kind of look at it and see if it will suit their needs. And so hopefully it'll be good information for anyone who is looking to buy it. And then also if you want to build your own and you want some inspiration for what we did and what worked and what didn't work or whatever, it should be helpful. All right, so here are some of the things, some of the amenities of the car camper in the Mazda CX-5. It's a 2013 Sport with a manual transmission, if you're following along at home. Here, like I said, there's toiletries, towels, utensils, flashlights. There's a broom for when we have that tent attachment. Behind there is the stove. In this back corner, you can see some extra cords, bungee cords, first aid kit. We had bear spray in there for a bit. I think it's just right up there on top here. So first aid kit, some bear spray too, depending on where you're camping. Over here on this side, we have, this is like perishable, so it's like food. This is also kitchen gear, so pots and pans go in here. Every now and then I'll take them out and put them in here, depending on how much of the perishables we have. And then this is like a kit for, you know, knives and spatulas and ladles or whatever else. Behind here we have the reflectix for all of the windows, so black out the windows. And obviously a pair of Canadian flip-flops. Kick-flops? I don't know, whatever. I do have a rubber lining, and so I like having that, but it does just sit on top of that. There are, you can see right here, there's some wood here that kind of raises it up, and it just is to level it out. Depending on the vehicle you put it in, it'll be a different amount of height that you'll need. Also, we have AC. This is a battery-powered fan. It'll hang on one of the door hooks or on the cable for the straps. And you just click through and it will power the fan. Okay, moving around to the front. So this little guy, it'll fit with the seat most of the way back. There's nothing in it right now. Let's see if we can get this guy to focus here. All right, so you get this right here. You can see in there's a shelf, and then there's just a little bit of stuff. It'll keep drinks, you know, hot or cold depending on what you're trying to do. We don't need the fridge most of the time for like long-term storage, but keep drinks cold while you're driving or whatever. Back here we have an Anker power bank. I don't know if you can see that. This is what we plug the fridge into. All our devices at the end of the night. You can see right here, 55%. And there's a plug here that we use for the fridge, or if you want, there's a wall outlet here as well, and there's a light bar. And I just have it bungee corded to the handle, to the center piece. And so that kind of gives it some stability so it doesn't slide off. And yeah, that I'll charge off the car's 9-volt port. So this, it'll slide into here. If I can get the seat with one hand, hang on one sec. Okay. Just a couple aftermarket upgrades. Bluetooth, backup cam, and then there is a dash cam up there as well. Here on the back side of the passenger seat, we have the water jug. Every now and then, depending on how much water I take, I will put the toilet on one side and then the fridge and the stuff on the other side. If you don't have a passenger, you can fit both of these here. Otherwise, you would probably put one up here in the front. So you put the water up here maybe and put your toilet back here for when you need it. This is the emergency toilet. It is for emergencies only. Okay, so I just wanted to show that it will fit. That's the toilet behind the passenger seat. And so depending on your setup, you can have the water up here, or you know, maybe you have a bigger fridge or a bigger battery or whatever if you're solo camping. What we're doing with two people, we had the toilet up top because it's for emergencies only and we didn't use it. Then we had the water back here behind my wife's seat. So like I said, here's a better view of the back. There's the camp toilet with the side of it. We use these to step up to the roof rack bag, what? All right, and then if we take these guys off, I usually just put them here in the door, kind of tucked in like this, and I have one on both sides, so my wife and I can get up there and pack up our car or get things down and tighten things up But what we had to do is we put rails on and then a roof bar. So there's some cross pieces here. These are the official Mazda ones. I tried some aftermarket ones and they didn't end up working. But so these rails clip in, and then you have the crossbars that go underneath where the roof rack attaches right there. You can see one of the benefits of that is you can have these straps here. And if the bag is really full, I'll clip them on the top. And then if we take stuff out for like our tent or something, then I'll go through and I'll clip them on the bottom and tighten it that way. And that way it's extra tight when it's this way. So if the top of it is empty or light on stuff, it'll be tighter without having to readjust the straps every time. And then here you can see, this is how we kind of keep the bed. So there's the stuff underneath here. And I come up here, you can see the bed frame. We kind of leave it folded. It is a little bit of a pain, so if I was going to do it again, I would definitely get a 6-inch mattress. You can see here is the pocket where the wheel well is. So there's this little corner here, this little pocket. We have storage in there. There's a backup, like a battery jump start and some tools. But this mattress, I mean, I don't know if you can see that. It's about, you know, it's a 6-inch foam mattress, and it tucks right perfectly in this wheel well, which means it's very snug, and it goes wheel well to wheel well. I basically slide it out, you know, so that the back piece here will be hanging off the edge. And then I'll unfold the middle and then unfold the arms and then slide it all the way back in. So it is a little bit of a kind of endeavor. So having a twin size is better for solo camping. You also have the storage on the side. You don't need the arms. Or what I would do different is maybe buy a thinner mattress. I would go for 4 inches. So you have a little bit more leeway, because right in here, it's where it's so snug. It's hard to get in and out with one person. If I'm including this clip, it means this is a pro tip. I'm gonna try and get the full-size mattress out through the door, because it is wedged pretty tight on there. It usually takes 2 people. We're gonna try it. And that, my friends, is a 6-inch full-size mattress in the back of a Mazda CX-5. We got our trash bag right here on the back of the seat. This is what we use for the back. It's the Rody Products window cover, and it's basically a mesh screen that kind of packs into itself, and it has basically like a tent hood that will come off. That's what these poles are for, and it will have a zipper. So you can have the rain fly can cover it, or if you want airflow to come in or out. And if you do have the airflow, like if you have it down, it'll have a bug net. So you can have airflow coming in while still having the sort of sealed from, you know, bug net. And then it has the kind of mini rain fly so that it keeps rain out while the window's open. So you can vent the car, not get bugs, and kind of have some fresh air going through. We have 2 of those, one on each side, and we'll put them through so that you can kind of have air kind of blowing through. So in the summer, when it's hot, that's kind of how we do it. I do have a fan as well, a little battery powered fan that we'll sometimes put. In the winter, we just put the Reflectix up and use a warm sleeping bag, and it's been fine. Last night it got to, I think it was about 20, when we woke up this morning, it was about 22 degrees, so somewhere in there. And we had the front window cracked with one of these guys on it. And then the back windows, we had the Reflectix all the way around, and just the 2 bodies, and the heat from each other and the 2, or the Reflectix in all the windows and the blankets. That was totally fine. Yeah, probably wouldn't open the window if I did it again, but wasn't gonna wake up and fix that. So this is the inside without the mattress, and I'll show you how this guy works. We have this middle piece here that folds up. This is if you're just using the twin, is all you need. However, if you're using a full-size mattress, you're gonna use these guys as well. These guys just go in at an angle like that, and they kind of come down. I don't know if I can reach this guy. So you go in at an angle like this, and they kind of come down like that. And then the wooden leg kind of stabilizes it there. So once you get those guys, you just flip this guy. And I don't know if you can hear this, but it hits right there. So you just got to center it, right? See how it's loose? Center it. And it'll clear that spot just ever so nicely. Just like that. And then this is, yeah, now it's a full-size bed frame. I'll show you that without the mattress so you can kind of see what it's like. Right, here's maybe a better view of those arms there. You can see I adjusted different heights. Right there is a stack of extra wood to get that as level as we could get it. The sacrifice that you make here is that, yeah, the higher you go, the less headroom you go, but the more storage you have, and that's kind of the trick there. And then these guys fold up just like this. So if I go here, hang on, let me get my, and this middle guy, just like that, and there you have it. You can see here this extra little lump sits on the center console there. Though we just did sort of like a one last farewell trip, I guess, to southern Utah. to Bentonite Hills. I'll put some pictures up as we're going, I guess.
We're driving cars on a Mars tonight. We're blasting off to the stars tonight. We wanna go.
As far as reviews go, the Mazda CX-5, solid, 5 stars, love it. My wife has a newer CX-5, and it fits in there as well, actually. And so that would be another option. And I did try it out in my friend's. He's got a Jeep Grand Cherokee, but it fit in his car as well. You would have to adjust the front of it basically to level it out. So you'd have to even it out depending on the car that you're putting it in. I'll put the dimensions in the description if I think of it. The carpeting on it is just basically a roll of like indoor outdoor rugs from Costco or whatever. I think it's been a really fun kind of like mini adventure. A Mazda CX-5 is great to, great on gas mileage, but also just giving you some freedom to go places where you couldn't go with like a trailer or a camper. And it's just, we drove it up to Canada last year. We only camped in the car, I think 1 or 2 nights. Most of the nights we were kind of split between the tent attachment, SUV tent attachment thing. I'll just put up a picture of it. Or we kind of strategically planned for some hotel nights when we wanted to do laundry or shower or whatever else. Yeah, the rooftop bag with the roof rack I think worked great. Okay, so real quick, I wanted to do kind of a quick review of this guy. This is the Meefar, M-E-E, from Amazon. I'll have to look up what size it is. I can put it in the description if I remember. But this one is the one that we used on our trip to Canada. And it's actually a pretty good size. It fit all of our stuff for 2 people. You'll see there's like a Velcro on this top piece that covers the zippers. They do look like they're sort of water resistant, but the cover provides a little bit of extra peace of mind. There is a little spot where you can lock it with a little padlock that comes included. The hardest part is that sometimes this guy will be hard to zip around these corners. It's almost like a square bag, and so sometimes the corners are kind of hard to zip. But if you just kind of get them lined up and you just kind of straighten them out, it's not too bad. And then it does actually fit a lot of gear, and it is easy to put on and off. And like I said, I like to use the buckles. I'll set the size so that it's roughly tight enough when it's full on the top of the roof rack, and then if I take stuff out for, drop it off at a campsite or whatever, drop it off at the hotel, I'll go on the bottom one and tighten it. Maybe you move stuff around or whatever, and so you're not adjusting the straps every single time. But I've actually really enjoyed it, and it looks like it's held up pretty well. You can see there's lots of bug guts and stuff, but there are no tears. It hasn't leaked on us yet. We drove it to Canada and back, and it's been pretty sweet. So having the roof rack is nice for that reason, because it just kind of sits in there. You can actually do it where you can strap it to vehicles just using like clips that hook onto the windows or onto the roof rails itself instead of having the roof rack. I do like having the roof rack because it's a little bit sturdier, and it gives it some support. And then, like I said, you can use the straps onto it instead of having it clipped to your window frame or door frame or whatever. We have we have the emergency toilet that we kept with us the whole trip to Canada, the trip to southern Utah. And then I also have these like bags that are made for going to the bathroom number 1, and we actually haven't used any of them. So I have them just in case, and I think it's got to be like something along Murphy's Law or something, right? Where it's like, because we were prepared for it, it didn't happen. And so actually I would recommend that as well. I did have a pop-up tent, like a shower tent for camping that we would use if we did need to use if we needed to use the bathroom or if we needed to change or whatever. And so you could use it for a shower as well if you were on the go and you got one of the sort of the bags that you could hang a shower from it and take a shower that way. Or you could use it to wipe yourself down with like the nature wipes that I use some of those. Or you can use it for emergency number 2s and number 1s on the road. And I did use some packing cubes, just like some of the ones with the zipper compression. But so zipper compression, and then I had a 0-degree sleeping bag because I thought I was going to be cold, and I actually had to unzip most of the night and it wasn't too cold, so that worked out well. But with the Reflectix, and if you had all the windows closed, and then with the sleeping bag, Reflectix, 2 bodies, and the windows closed, I think it would actually have been too hot and probably would have had to turn the fan on. But we did crack a window with the roadie, the rain fly, whatever, for your SUV window, truck window, whatever. And so that worked out well where it wasn't too hot or too cold. So who is this built for, and would I recommend it? I think it's great if you're a solo traveler, you're car camping, maybe you want something a little bit more sort of robust and off-road capable, like an all-wheel drive SUV. My car's actually only front-wheel drive because it's got the manual. It's a base model of 2013, but it does handle well. It has more clearance than a lot of other smaller vehicles. But if you're fitting a twin-size mattress, if it's a solo camper, I think that's great. Having the platform gives you a little bit of storage, but at the cost of you reduce how much headroom you have. So having a really tall mattress and a tall platform, you just reduce how much headroom you have every time. And so I think for me, this is like a pretty good balance where you have storage for the stove and the perishables and the food and all the gear and stuff, but then you also have space for, to be able to, you know, to put everything that you need, but still have space to be able to be comfortably able to sleep there. When my wife and I are both in the car, there's probably about, you know, a couple feet of headroom from the mattress to the ceiling, and so we're not sitting up full height, and that's kind of the cost of the height of the bed frame. But so solo campers, I think, is a great option. It's cheap, it's easy. Like I said, there's some things for emergency, you know, use. We have the roof rack I didn't use when I first took this car to Denver. I didn't have the roof rack or the bag. And basically I just put my twin size mattress and then all my gear along the side of it there. And then still had, you know, the water and the toilet and different things like this. And so for emergencies, but for road trips, I think it's great. This car, when I went to Denver, I think was averaging like 34 miles a gallon on the highway, maybe a little less than that. But so it's pretty good on gas mileage. And so it's got those benefits, right? And it is small and discreet. And so I black out the windows with the Reflectix and different things. But it gives me, I feel like, a lot of freedom. We went to Bentonite Hills in Hanksville, and we were able to drive on those roads just fine. They were kind of bumpy and off-roady, but they weren't so crazy that we couldn't just kind of navigate it perfectly fine with this here old CX-5 here. Yeah, so who it's not for, I think if you have two people, it's tight. So if you have any more than two people, I mean, this bed frame, you can't even sit with the seats up. One of the benefits of this unit is I can pull it out. It is kind of hefty, but so we can pull it out all the way without having to make any modifications to the car. The seats just fold right back up. So, you know, after the weekend trip, whatever, we fold the seats back up and it's totally just right back to how the car was before. And so I think that's great if you want to have a sort of an all-purpose vehicle. Maybe you have one car and then you want to do a couple camping trips here or there. You can have that option. One thing we did when we went to Canada is we had the car tent sort of extension, which is great. You could do like an air mattress and the car tent if you wanted to have more people, but it does reduce the amount of storage you have in the car, and also it's more setup time every night. So yeah, if I was going to do it again, I'd get a shorter full, and so, you know, probably 4 inches would be a good compromise, I think. The twin that I used before was a 3-inch trifold twin. And that one's kind of, you know, if you're a good solo camper, I think that's perfect. The other benefit of being a solo camper is you don't need the extra arms to fit the top of the full-size mattress. And so you can just leave it off. It just sort of streamlines it, and you have more space on the side of your car if you want to stack some stuff in the corner or whatever. But if you're a solo camper, you have tons of room if you want to put a bigger fridge or a bigger battery, if you're going to power more things, more gear. So I think the roof rack is a great addition, especially, I mean, it basically made it essential if you have more than one traveler to put, you know, we put camp chairs, tents, anything like that we need up there, tables, you know, all the food, all the gear, sleeping bags, whatever, and then we just kind of pulled down what we needed at the time. So it's been awesome so far. Hopefully this is helpful and useful. Let me know if you have any questions. And so I think it's a great opportunity to go do some solo traveling, and if you want to get some exposure, try it out and see if it works. That's kind of what I want this video to be, is you can see, hopefully, kind of see, oh yeah, that would work for me. Okay, I would want to do this instead or whatever. I don't have a full video of the build, but I can kind of go into depth. If you want, if you know, people want another video, comment below, and I'll make another one of how I built it and some of the things we did to level it out and different things and some adjustments we made along the way. I did raise it up a little bit from what I initially had. And so you can see, I'll have pictures or videos of that if we need it. So assuming I don't sell it, I'll do a more thorough breakdown of it. Yeah. Thanks for watching.